Now the screen is more or less arranged. There's perhaps a couple of other things we might have a look at just to make it a nicer environment to work with. One of the things is the colors on screen. So let's say if I create a component, which I would do through members, create profile, I'll just take the default between 2 points, right mouse click to call up the setting box, and I will also create, for example, an HSS and between 2 points. We can see that these components have different colors. There are settings for this in the background, but the basic colors we have on screen, meaning background, color of the designations, color of the grids, and so on, they can be controlled. Since you'll be watching the screen all day long, it's of course a lot better to have an environment you feel comfortable with to execute your projects. So under extras, we can find fonts and colors. The fonts and colors, we have the menu fonts. These are the fonts you will see in all the setting boxes. So if you think that the fonts are a bit too small for your liking, you can increase the size and the boxes will match. Of course, don't make it too crazy. Or if you say you want to make it bold to see it a little bit better, feel free to do so. The list fonts are the ones used for the message window. We can see here on my screen at the bottom right. And the drawing fonts will be the fonts used in the drawings, used in the views as well as on the drawings. And then we can find the pen colors. Before we go there, you must know that there is various pre-configurations you can choose from. Black background or light gray background, shaded, not shaded, solid, transparent, and so forth. And that will then give you a better base to continue your setup. And if you say, well, I found something and I want to individually change the pen colors, press the pen color button. And for example, the background, if I want a slightly darker background or a gradient background, I'll switch the second color to a darker color, for example, OK, and I immediately see the effect. Switch that back. I'll just copy, paste the color code, that also works. If I say my grid should be in a different color, right now I can see that's brown, meaning pen 1. I would say this needs to be black. Well, we'll set it to black. If at that moment I see that pen 2, which is the designations, that's a bit too dark, make it a bit lighter. Pen 3 is black right now. I want to change that to something else. Say something a bit more orangey, like that. And pen 8, switch that perhaps to some kind of a purple shade. If you say, well, this is what I would like to keep, you can of course always save these settings, save it in your colors. So save it for future use. OK, close, and we'll immediately see the changes on screen.